Very often in Fusion 360, you'll find a need for moving objects as well as features in your drawing. And you can do that very easily using the Move tool. So the Move tool is in the Modify panel, and I'll go to just Modify, and right here we have the Move tool. So you can select the Move tool from here, or you can use its hotkey M as well. In this case, I'll just select this option from here. And now we have some options here. We can select bodies, faces, or sketches. We can also select components, but we are not talking about components yet because this topic will be discussed in creating assemblies section. So let's now select bodies for this case. And now you need to select the body which you want to move. In this case, I'll select this complete body for moving my object. So I'm going to select this body, and now we'll have this gizmo here. Now this gizmo has a lot of these tools, and currently the gizmo is aligned with respect to this plane. That's not what we want. Instead, we'll just align it with respect to this plane. So I'm going to now click on this cross icon, and now I'll click here to select this object. And look at this, when I move close to any of these points, it will snap to that point and it will fix the gizmo there. You can also move to other points like this, and when you move close to those points, it will just snap to those points, and selecting the plane will also make sure that it aligns with respect to that plane. Similarly, you can align it with this plane or any other plane. In this case, I'll select this point. Alright, now the gizmo is placed here. We have lots of options on this. Let's talk about them one by one. So the very basic one here is the move gizmo handle. So we have three arrows here. The x-axis, you can see that here. You can take the reference of the axis on the view cube. So this one is for x, this one is for z, this one is for y. So selecting these handles will move your object in the respective direction. So I'll select this one for y. I'll grab this handle, I'll move it up, and look at this. Now it's moving along y axis. This will move it along z, and this one along x. Now these three are rotation handles, and using this you can rotate the object. So once again, selecting this one will rotate along x, selecting this one will rotate along z, and selecting this one will rotate along y. You can take the reference of x, y, z axis from the view cube as I mentioned earlier. Now I'll orbit this drawing a little bit, and then we'll talk about these three planes. So using these planes, you can move your object freely along the selected plane. So this one is xz, or the zx plane, this one. So you can move it along that plane using this. And then this one is yx or xy plane, and then this one is yz plane. So you can just select it and move your object on the respective plane using these planes option. So in this case, all of these handles are active, and that's because we have first option free move selected in the move type. But let's just cancel out this, and I'm gonna go to modify and move, or maybe let's use the hotkey now. So I'm gonna type M, and I'll select this plane, and now I'll change the move type to translate, and now only the translate handles are visible. So if you want a clutter-free environment for moving your object, you can select this. Then we have the rotate. If you just want the rotate handles here, you don't have any rotate handles here because you need to now specify an axis as shown here. So you need to just click on any of these lines, any of these straight lines for the axis. In this case, I'm going to select this straight line, and now this will become the axis, and you can now move it along the axis that you want. So I'm going to just uncheck this, and now we have another option, point to point. Now using this point to point option, you can move your object from one point to other. So now let's say we want to move this point to this, and this is what we'll get. So this point will now move to the point which we selected here. All right, I'll cancel it out again. Once again, I'll type M for move. I'll select the body, and now let's move it. But instead of moving it directly, we'll now make a copy. So I'll select this create copy checkbox, and now I'll use the translate option, and I'll just move it up. Okay. And look at this. We now have a copy of our original object. So you can not only move your object, but you can also create copies using this move or copy tool. Now using this move and copy tool, you can also move or copy the features. So right now we have this feature as well as these two grooves. Let's try to move them as well. So again, I'm going to type M, and now in the move object, I'll select faces. All right, let's select this face as well as this face. So we have two faces selected here, and now using this arrow, I'll just move it here. And look at this, now we can clearly move the features the way we want. Click on OK, and the features are now moved. So this is how you can move or copy body, features or sketches in Fusion 360.